The Rock's long-awaited return in Fast X Part 2 is one of the biggest talking points of the upcoming sequel, as it supposedly marks the end of a long-standing real-life feud between Vin Diesel and Dwayne Johnson. The actors have famously disagreed about much of the series' creative direction, with their conflict eventually reaching a boiling point that contributed to Johnson's decision to leave the franchise. Now that both actors have seemingly put this feud behind them, Fast X revealed that Johnson would finally be coming back. This is hugely exciting news for multiple reasons. Not only was Hobbs' story cut short due to Johnson's premature exit, but the reconciliation between the actors means that the franchise can end without any bad blood among the cast. Fast and Furious has always been a celebration of family, so it feels very fitting that Fast and Furious 11 would bring Vin Diesel and Dwayne Johnson back together. However, the film needs to be cautious with this storyline. Fast 11 has so many subplots that need wrapping up in the final movie. It can't get too distracted with this one. While the promise of Dwayne Johnson finally returning to the Fast and Furious saga is definitely exciting, it shouldn't be the main storyline of the final installment. Luke Hobbs is a great character who's played an integral role in some of the best Fast and Furious movies, but his absence from several entries means he's a far cry from the series' main character. It's still debatable whether this honor belongs to Dom or Brian, but it would be a huge mistake to force Hobbs into the spotlight in Fast and Furious 11. Instead, this movie has the much more important assignment of wrapping up Dom's story in a fulfilling and satisfying way. Dom Toretto and his family are the real core of the Fast and Furious franchise, so it would be an enormous missed opportunity if the final movie didn't focus strongly on them. Vin Diesel's character is one of the few permanent members of this iconic action lineup who's been there since the beginning, and his mantra has always been to look out for his family. Since Fast 11 has been marketed as the grand conclusion of this franchise, it wouldn't make sense for the story to ignore the one character who's been there through it all. The legacy of Dom Toretto is something that almost blurs the line between fact and fiction at this point, as Diesel is so irrevocably associated with this character in the public consciousness that it's impossible to imagine Fast and Furious without him. This final movie is supposedly going to be the final chapter in Dom's story, and Hobbs' exciting return shouldn't distract audiences from that. Luckily, there's still the upcoming Luke Hobbs spin-off. While there's been very little news about this project in recent months, the spin-off is reportedly still going forward with Dwayne Johnson in the lead role. There's been no official announcements about the story or supporting cast, but given how tightly the release dates are packed together, it seems likely that it will somehow connect to the events of Fast X Part 2. This means that Hobbs' return doesn't have to be the main focus of the upcoming sequel. It can simply be teed up and later explored in the spin-off.